Let's have a look to see how blending modes can also enhance the mock-ups that you create. In this case, I want to put both of these designs on either side of this box. So we'll start off with the same way we've done before. Choose your layer. In this case, the layer on the left will be Art 1, and convert it to a smart object. Then we can scale it down, and let's put it into perspective. By the way, a good keyboard shortcut to know whenever you want to distort something is to hold down the Command key, and that will automatically choose the distortion mode. You don't have to go up to Transform and choose Distort. And we'll just eyeball the perspective of it. There. To quickly and easily get rid of the white area that's inside of this is where we need to choose a different blending mode. The best way to get rid of lighter areas is to change it from normal to multiply. You can see now that quickly gets rid of all that area. Let's do the same for this side. Again, we'll select our layer and convert it to a smart object. Then we'll scale it down. Whoops, make sure it stays in perspective. Hold down the Command key, and we can put it into perspective on this side as well. Once it's the way we like it, maybe I'll move it up just a little bit. There we go. Once it's the way we like it, change your blending mode from normal to multiply, and that will get rid of any lighter colors that are on here. So that's a good, quick way of working with this and to make sure everything is nice on this flat surface. This also works well if you've got a surface that's textured or has different little highlights and shadows or other little more complex parts. So for instance, if I place the word free delivery, I can change its blending mode to multiply. Whoops, forgot to turn it into a smart object. That's okay, we'll do it now. And then we can scale this down and put it into perspective. Again, use the lines that are part of your design as guidelines. With that done, you can see now it fits nice and easily on top of that particular area. Now, sometimes this doesn't work very well. For instance, let's say I wanted to put this artwork on top of a darker area. Well, if I pull it over, and I'll just go ahead and scale it down. Whoops, let's do it again. Scale it down and convert it to a smart object. If I was to change the blending mode to multiply, you can see it will get rid of the lighter areas, but it's also going to burn in all of the color and lose the design in the dark background. So multiply is not going to work for this. As a matter of fact, any of the other colors is also not going to work very well for this too. There are some other things you could do. Let's go back to normal blending mode. First off, you can get rid of white or darker areas by opening the blending mode options. In the Layers panel, select the layer that you want, go down to the Effects, and open up your Blend options. With Blend options open, notice this is the very top portion. Locate the Blend If. We can tell Photoshop to ignore any value range that we want from here. In this case, if we want it to ignore the white of this area, you can click on the little arrow and drag it to the left. And very quickly and easily you can see it gets rid of any lighter pixels. And the more I move, you can see the more it'll eat away at it. Now this doesn't look very convincing along the edge right here. So I'm going to hold down the Option or Alt key, click on my arrow again, and I can dial in the exact amount of transitioning that I want. However, you can see there's another problem. I've lost the white that's inside of this design. So while this does get rid of the lighter areas, it may get rid of more than you need for this design. So in this case, this part doesn't work for this one. So we'll say OK to that. To get rid of that, we can also open back up our blending mode. Let's double click on it. There we go. Let's put it back to where it should be. What I would do in this case is actually manually remove the white that's in that area. To do that, let's use our layer mask. Again, we can use our selection tool. This time, instead of doing the quick select, I'm going to use my magic wand tool and go up to the top, To make sure contiguous is turned on, and we're only going to sample the layer that we're working on. So I can click on the outer edge of it. With it selected, I can go up to Image, go up to Layer, down to my layer mask, and I can tell it to hide the selection because we want to hide the white that's been selected. This will give us our white outline and black area that's now nice and put in there. If I need to further refine areas, so for instance I need to get rid of this is where I can grab my paintbrush tool and change the size of it. And wherever I paint black as my foreground color, this will mask off that particular area. So just make sure you've got your layer mask selected, and you can go in and further refine any parts that need to be on here. So sometimes blending modes work, but sometimes you still need to just mask off whatever specific area simply because the masking or the blending doesn't work. Once that's done, again, save these as Photoshop files so that you can always go back in and change out whatever artwork that you have.